everybody. I'm going to mute everybody, actually. No, I can't find the mute thing. Well, if Leslie or Kathy, well, you guys are pretty quiet, but could mute everybody. I can't seem to find the mute thing.
If you scroll down, it'll pop up.
I'm going. So this is yoga, online yoga with Via, May 28th, 2020. And there's a picture of me on the beach in Puerto Vallarta using therapy balls. So this is a nudge for you guys to get therapy balls if you don't already have them. There's lots of good work, myofascial release work to do that we can do with therapy balls. We're going to start. I'm going to stop the share of my picture. And now we have Kathy and the big screen. And we're going to start the way we always do. Hi, Diana. We're going to start the way we always do. Just supine, watching the breath, coming into the room, into the practice. Your knees can be bent or straight, or your legs could be up on a couch or a chair. Your knees, bent knees up on the couch or chair. Just taking some breaths. Later, I'm going to teach you, or we're going to practice complete breath. We're going to start with a vagus nerve reset. Bringing your hands behind your head and interlacing your fingers, creating a little cradle for your occipital ridge. And without moving anything else, shift your eyeballs to the right and wait for a swallow, sigh, gulp, or yawn. This is not anything you have to do. It's something the body does. Come back to center. And then look left. You've hardly missed anything, Caitlin. Welcome. Looking, eyeballs left, nothing else moves. Waiting for a yawn, a sigh, a swallow, or a gulp. Hi, Suzanne. We're in the middle of vagus nerve reset. Just come back to center and do 2 more right, left, without cueing. Vagus nerve reset is a great way to start a yoga practice. A nap. It's a good way to de-stress if you're feeling stressed. You can do it standing or seated too, but we usually do it supine. And then whenever you finish the last set, just stay here in this shape and start pressing the occipital ridge, the base of the skull, into your cradle that you've created with your hands. Just press and feel the lengthening of the cervical spine. Just pressing and holding and then releasing. And it may be you can experiment with the location where you're pressing. So maybe you go a little higher. What you want to feel is the lengthening of the cervical spine along the back of your neck. The chin drops, the nose drops. But it does that because of the head ramping that you're doing. And do that a couple more times. So it's great for your posture. Releases the neck and shoulders. And finish up. And I'm going to lead you, guide you, coach you in complete breath. So there's 3 areas of breathing, and you can touch them as I mentioned them. One is at the top of the chest by the throat. And then another one is in the rib cage, just below that. And then finally the abdomen below that. So 3 places that we breathe, that we move the breath into. And what I would like you to do on complete breath is start on your inhale, breathe the breath, send the breath into the chest or the throat area, and then the rib cage, and then the belly, all the way down. And then on your exhale, reverse that and exhale, starting at the belly, then the rib cage, and then the chest. So it's pretty simple. It's a lovely breathing practice. And you could put your hand on your chest, one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly, and that might help you focus on the trajectory of the breath here. So remember to start just filling the chest and then the rib cage and then the belly. And then emptying the belly and then the rib cage and then the chest or the throat. And a couple more breaths, complete breaths. And finish up, and we're going to do several hypopressive moves. So the first one we're going to do is the classic movement. You're in hypopressives, in this hypopressive, your knees are bent and your ankles are flexed. So the toes are off the floor toward the ceiling. Your arms are up as if you're hugging a tree in front of your armpits, and then flip them. And they don't have to be touching each other, but you should press the palms, press them toward the ceiling, and press your shoulder blades toward the floor. So your arms are active. We're going to take 3 breaths. And then after the 3rd breath, no breath while I count to 10 for you. You should feel your rib cage expand on the no breath and the belly scoops. But all that is involuntary. It just happens. So it's not something you have to do, but you can watch it happen. So inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I've forgotten whether that's 3 or 2, so let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. No breath. So holding your breath out at the end of that last exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale and then exhale. We're going to do extended leg hypopressive. So go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you. You can still dorsiflex your toes so the toes come towards the nose. Your arms go overhead. You've interlaced your fingers and flip them. So interlace, flip, and then take your arms overhead by your ears. Nice. And the right ankle over the left ankle. Oh, and I forgot there's a stacking arrangement. So the right ankle is on top and the left hand is on top of this hand stack. Opposites. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Hold your breath in, no breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And go ahead and release that and switch sides. Left ankle over right. You're still dorsiflexing your toes. So left ankle over right, and then the right hand is on top of the stack. Arms by the ears, straighten your arms if you can. 3 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. No breath. Hold your breath out to the count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you can release that and come up to a floor-seated position. You're going to have your legs in front of you. And if you want, so the first thing we're going to do is a straight-legged internal, external rotation. Legs out in front of you. And if you want to, you can put your arms behind you. It's hard to sit in good posture with your legs out in front of you and straight. So Kathy's not going to sit straight up, good posture. She's going to use her hands just to rest back a little bit. She could also use pillows behind her back on this one. So maybe she can demonstrate that. I love this because it's purely, simply internal and external rotation at the hip joint. We're going to do right, left. So Kathy's either going to be on a pillow or she's going to have her hands behind her back. You choose, Kathy. And then both legs are straight. And move the left leg out a little bit to give room, provide room for the right leg to internally rotate and then externally rotate. So try not to move anything but your leg. So the torso doesn't move, the hips don't move, the other leg doesn't move. And feel that the movement is coming from the hip joint, not from the knee or the foot, even though the foot and the knee will be moving as well. So everyone's going to look a little different here. It depends really on the range of motion that's available to you at the hip joint. But this should actually increase the range of motion that's available to you at your hip joint. Now we're going to stay on this side and then start bending the knee a little bit. So the heel drag the heel up a little bit, and now do the same thing, inward and outward. Internal rotation and external rotation. And if that's uncomfortable for you, straighten your leg and stay at level 1. But if it's not uncomfortable, you can actually take it up a notch, drag your heel closer to your buttocks, dorsiflex your foot if you can, and then internally rotate and externally rotate. You could do this while you're watching TV on your couch or on the floor, actually preferably on the floor. I'm going to get a reputation as a teacher who spends most of her time teaching floor seating. Go ahead and switch to the other side. So the right leg is straight in the beginning. It's always straight, actually. While the left leg is internally and externally rotating at the hip joint. And think of what is happening here. And you could be seated with why don't you show them that one again, Kathy? Seated with no pillow and your hands behind you as well. And try to keep everything else still. That's the challenge, so that the movement is happening at the hip joint. And then go ahead and pull your heel up, bend your knee a little bit, and continue to internally and externally rotate the hip joint. And see if you can keep the other leg and the torso and the pelvis still. If that's too hard for you, this might be easier for you, I don't know. If that's too hard, go back to level 1, or you can move on to level 3, which the heel is closer to the buttocks, and then the movement. So keep everything still except the hip. This is the purest hip movement, starting straight-legged and then bending the knee. Finish that up, and we're going to do a psoas stretch. This one's for Dana and you, and all of you. You're going to, once again, you could be back on pillows, or you could be seated. Actually, let's start seated, Kathy, and because you're going to extend your both legs, the same as we did just now, and then bend your right knee and hug it to your chest.
Oh, that one. Okay.
So now you're going to roll back as if there was a string at your waist pulling you backwards. So we'll curl back as far as you can go without falling over. Now, and then come up So this is a resistance stretch movement that both strengthens and stretches the psoas. So just keep, it's a little bit of a rocking movement. Actually, you're coming down, and then as you come up, feel the psoas is pulling you up. And the other leg stays on the floor. Well, that is, if the leg starts lifting up, you've gone too far also. This is just a back and forth movement. And coming on up. And Kathy makes this look easy. Just one more. All sorts of things should, could, and would be happening here. Switch sides. Psoas stretch, resistance. Kihara psoas stretch. And 2 or 3 more times. Rolling back as far as you can go without falling, and then bringing yourself up using the psoas muscle to bring yourself up. And your abdominals, by the way. You should feel those as well. Go ahead and finish that up, and then lie down on your back, and maybe just move your hips from side to side, windshield wipers, just to shake it out. You've been asking a lot from your hips and your psoas, hips and your hip flexors. Lie down and just. So windshield wipers are moving the knees from side to side together, usually to get together one side and then the other. And your feet can be spread or not. It's, it's up to you really at that point. But now that you've wiggled yourself out, wiggled your hips a bit, we're going to do a quad stretch for the third move in this triplet. So Kathy, come back up. Come with your, not that up. Come back, bring your knees up, sorry. Come back up to this neutral position, feet on the floor, knees bent. Take your left foot, walk your left foot away from the center so that you can drop your right knee towards the center, right? Internal rotation, and then put your left foot on top of your right knee. And you're going to create, that's the resistance point, is the ankle and the knee. You're going to create strength and flexibility in the quad by moving up and down. When the knee wins, the ankle resists. When the ankle wins, the knee resists. So you're always resisting and always moving, and do this slowly so you can feel what's happening here. Quad stretch, quad resistance stretch. Take it easy. Feel the stretch. You may want to come back slower on this. The return is the strength. So when the knee drops toward the center of your body, that's the stretch, obviously. I think it should be obvious to you. And then when you come back is the strength, still resisting. The resistance is what creates the strength at the belly of this muscle. And do it one more time, and then switch sides. It looks like you can't get this knee down as far. Is that true, Kathy? Oh, here it comes. Okay. Remember the resistance, everybody. Always moving, always resisting the movement. And do one more and finish up. Come up to your favorite floor-seated position. If it's a knee Z, be sure and put a towel or a blanket underneath the uneven hip or the hip that's dropping. We're going to do a chest opener, similar to something we just did actually, but so seated, and then Kathy's going to bring her hands behind her and open the chest. So lift the chest up, and then she's going to curl a little forward. So this is like a seated cat-cow. Curl forward and then open up the chest, and then curl backward. Oh, I used
Curled backward.
well. So your chest is, when your chest is open, you're in a back extension, and then when you're folding forward, curling forward, you're in flexion. So it's flexion and extension. So find this one. See if you can sit taller than that, Kathy, not leaning back so much. If your hands can't reach, make them into little in fists or little claws, so that they're keeping you up high. So this is from a good posture position. Open the chest and then close the chest and roll backward. So this is as if you're doing a cat-cow from a floor-seated position. You should feel the chest opening as you go back, as your back extends. And finish up that, and then we're going to do a spine twist, just the minimal spine twist. I'm going to do some more other twists later, not today, but later in the class, because there are some benefits to going beyond a simple spine twist. So stay tuned. Put your hands together at your chest, prayer pose, and tuck your fingers under your chin. And from here, rotate your rib cage to the right. This is a very small thoracic spine twist. Small and pure. The thoracic spine does not rotate much. And again. I want to show you this. Can you see Frida? She's doing this with me. Oh, now she's washing herself. She was licking me. So back and forth you go, then come back to center. And we're going to do a side bend. This is also the simplest form of side bend. Take your arms to your side, and then we're going to side bend to the right. So all you're doing is just rounding, curving the spine to the right. You may need to bend your elbow, your right elbow. So, and you should feel the opening on the opposite side and the contracting or crunching on the right side. And come on back slowly. And the other side, left side. You can put your right hand up on your rib cage, just under your rib cage, like you're a teapot. We're not going to bring the arm up and over. We could do that, but we're just keeping it simple, keeping the movement so that your body can become aware of what the simplest side bend looked like without an arm stretch. Come on up. Do it again, right side, left side. And come up. Other side. And come back. And let's do just a couple of the spine twist to see if the spine twist has can get deeper because you did the side bend. Sometimes that happens. So hands tucked, prayer pose tucked under the chin, and just rotate right and left. And again, and just ask yourself if you can go farther. No right answer, but just if you can, notice. We're going to go up into a chair now and do some squats, some variations on squatting, which we haven't done in a long time, maybe not at all in this class, I'm not sure. So sit in a chair, preferably a hard back chair. And the first chair squat is literally from the chair. You're sitting in a chair, or you could do it on a couch. This is like maybe the level 1 squat variation. And so Kathy's sitting on the chair. Let's see what she's going to do about her feet.
No, that's the problem is.
Yeah, how about the book instead of the brick is not, you're going to come up to standing. So, okay. So Kathy has to make these adjustments because her chair and her legs don't match.
I'd like to do that one.
So from here, you're seated, you're not touching the back of the chair, you're seated in good posture. So you're seated on your sits bones, not your tailbone, and then your shoulders and your ears are directly over your hips. And from there, all you're going to do is you're going to come up out of the chair to a standing position. And then you're going to come back to a seated position. But coming back, you want to stick your buttocks back behind you and then sit down. And then you come up again. So lean forward a little bit and then come up. And then buttocks comes back and come down. You should be feeling your abdominals and your quadriceps when you move. And now if you'd like to, try to do it without quite sitting. So you hover and then come back up. So come up. Now, when you come down, don't sit, just hover. And then come back up. And then hover. Now, if everybody who sat on the couch would do this 5 times before they sat on the couch, they could counteract the detriment of sitting on a couch. Or they could begin to counteract anyway. Okay, now we're going to do another kind of squat, supported squat. So good job, everybody. And turn your chair around, Kathy. And maybe actually even turn your chair, even spin it around a little more so it's facing the couch. Maybe even put it next to the couch, facing the couch. Just because chairs like this can tip over. And so if you have it next to a wall or a couch, right up next, snuggle it right up there. Now it's stable. Does that make sense? So now you're going to, this may be, you're going to squat holding on to the chair. So come back a little ways from the chair and then stick your butt out behind you and come down as far as you can. Keep your arms straight if you can. And then bring yourself up using your quads and your abs. So keep your arms straight if you can. You might want to be out a little farther. And
What if I, would this help?
oh, in terms of the view?
Yeah.
Might. Mm-hmm. So one of the nice things about this stretch at the bottom, with the arms on the chair, it feels really good because you're getting a nice back stretch, I think. Your hands can be on top of the chair. I think is better. And this is not like the balancing exercise where you have to touch lightly. You can count on the chair to help you go up and down. The last squat we're going to do, well, except there's a bonus for other people. Some people, we're going to do just a regular yoga chair pose. But so the last squat you're going to do is you're going to find a brick, yoga block.
Here's my brick. Covered it.
A thick brick is better than a thin brick. And then you're going to put it down. I would put it tall. Yes. And wide, like that, and behind you. And then come down, squat down, and sit on it. Good. Now you're not, this is a resting squat. So
Okay.
you're not really using your chair. How does this feel, Kathy? Pretty good. So you could do this without a brick, by the way, without a block. You can just be sitting, resting. This is what is done all over Asia. This is how people rest. It's a great pose. I use it all the time, but the block helps you get there. Do that a couple more times, and then for the people who want to, everybody else can go back to one of these 3 squats and try them. But for some people, including Leslie, I can tell, try to do the chair pose, the yoga chair pose. Let's put Leslie on the screen to show this. Hold on, I'm going to pin her video. Okay. Oh, can you go back a ways so we can see more of your body? Okay. Chair pose. This is the yoga squat called chair pose. Her arms are up by her ears. You don't see Leslie? I don't know why that. Oh, but that's because you need to. Oh, you don't see her big because I didn't spotlight her. But
Yeah,
you can see her by pinning her on your own. That's what happened. Let me spotlight her. That would be easy, and then I'll unspotlight her.
I can pin her.
No, I spotlighted her. Now she ought to be able to. So what I did was pinned instead of spotlighted. So anyone can try this.
There you go.
There she goes.
Good job.
And then just take some breaths and then come out of it.
All right.
Abs and knees. Good job, everybody.
Yes.
The squats. We're going to come down on the floor. I am going to unspotlight, cancel the spotlight for Leslie and spotlight Kathy. We're going to come down on the floor for the prone series, one of the most common prone series I do, especially at the end of the class or nearing the end of the class. Just find your way onto your belly. Let's do bird dog first. Come up on, sorry, come on up onto your hands and knees. I should have just let us do the back extension, but apparently my mind did not catch that soon enough. So we're going to do bird dog, balancing pose. The arm comes up, right arm comes up, and the left leg comes up. Or if this is too much, you could just do an arm and then later do a leg. So, but otherwise, try to keep your hips even. Breathe, feel the abdominal work that happens here and the balancing, and then come on down. And other side. So take some breaths, be sure you're breathing. Try to feel even across your shoulders and your hips. The tendency is to lift the lifted shoulder or hip lifted higher than the other shoulder or hip. So come back, repeat. We're going to repeat this 2 more times. This is the second time. Breathe, feel the core, pull in your belly because this is core work and balancing work and cross patterning. Switch to the other side. Take some breath. And come on back. I think I'll quit there because Kathy's getting tired. And so maybe other people are getting tired. Just come into a child's pose and rest. Your child's pose can be, this is just an transitional pose. The knees can be wide or the knees can be narrow. You could sit on a brick, bring your arms out in front of you and rest and take some breaths. We'll do a little later in this set, we'll do a child's pose with some shoulder work. Now we're going to come back down. I'm sorry, Kathy. Now we're going to come back down for the back extension. So we're going to do 3 levels of this, but you can stay at whatever level you want and repeat that if you can't move to the next level. The first level is just arms at the side, palms up. Take an inhale to prepare and exhale to lift your chest, your arms, your head. And stay here and take a couple breaths. If you can move up a little higher or not, just stay where you are otherwise. Take an inhale to prepare and then an exhale just to return to the original floor position. And then we're going to add on. So we're going to do that one and then we're going to add airplane, arms out in a T. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, lift. Take a couple breaths. You can lift your upper back up a little bit higher. Now inhale to prepare and exhale, arms come out in a T, palms facing the floor, and take some breaths. And if you'd like to, you can try to lift your upper back a little higher. Don't do that if it bothers your lower back. If it bothers your lower back, you need to make this move smaller. Take an inhale to prepare and then exhale, oh yeah, that's right. This is level 2. Okay, that's right. Don't go to Superman until the next one, the next level. So, and remember, you can not do Superman. You could stay at airplane, or you could come back to the arms at the side. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, arms come up, chest. Drop your chin a little, Kathy. Yeah. The spine and the cervical spine and the thoracic spine should be in line with each other. That's the feeling you should have. Take an inhale to prepare and exhale, arms out to airplane. Inhale and exhale, arms by the ears, Superman. And lift your chest if you can, keep it lifted. And take an inhale and then exhale all the way down to the floor. Good work, good work. Bring your arms, fold them underneath your head just to rest here for a minute. You'll do some what's called crocodile breath. The nice thing about breathing prone, whether you're on a ball, you could be on a therapy ball here, couldn't you? If you were in your home practice. So whatever, you're going to feel the belly inhale. So you're going to feel the expansion of the belly, and that gives you some feedback and some resistance, actually. So breathing with awareness on your belly is a really nice practice. Let's do the prone thoracic spine twist. So bring your arms out in a T. Look to the, Kathy's looking to the, look to the left. Look to the left to start. And then lift your left leg and hover it over the right leg, back of the right leg. You could even bend your knee here, by the way, if you wanted to. So keep your leg straight or experiment with bending it so that it actually increases the stretch. Only do this to the extent that it's comfortable on your lower back. If you feel this in your lower back, you've gone too far. But this is actually an upper back movement to create mobility in the upper back. Counterintuitive, but it does the job. Come on back. Look to the right. Right leg comes up and over, hovers over the left. You could bring your bend your knee and bring your leg farther over. If you like that, experiment with that. I haven't mentioned it before, but it is an option. And it actually will help throw your right hip behind you to bend your knee. However, not if you start feeling this in your lower back. Go ahead and repeat this another time. So one of the things that happens that creates lower back issues is that the upper back gets so tight it doesn't do the work it's supposed to do. And so the lower back, the lumbar, takes over. So this is lower back work by loosening up the upper back. So we're creating a more harmonious relationship between lower back and upper back. Finish up. Bring yourself up to standing. And walk around the room. And notice how you feel. And then let's do short foot, standing short foot. This will help with your ankles, Parvin. Short.
Yeah. Okay.
So Kathy's standing on a book, but she doesn't have to. I mean, you don't have to. Her feet are straight forward. We're going to start on the right foot and just lift the toes and spread them. And then lower the toes, all of them at once, and press the toe pads into the ground. And wait and breathe and notice, if you can, the connection between your feet and your buttocks, the glutes, and your core. And if you all, the other thing you can notice, see if you can notice an evenness between the big toe and the little toe. So that arch. So we're working on the plantar arch, which is from the front to the back, but you can also work across by becoming aware of and creating some sort of a balance or evenness across the front of the foot. Other side, lift your toes, spread them, lower the toes, press the toe pads into the ground. And the same thing, breathing, noticing the connection between your glutes and your core, your lower abdomen, and the foot. And then thinking of creating balance across the front arch between the toe, big toe, and the little toe. And one more time. Lift, spread, lower, connect, or become aware of a connection. And then other side. Lift, spread, press the toe pads on the ground. Become aware of the connection. The important connection between your feet and actually the entire back of your body. Posterior chain, it's called. And just walk around the room and then come down for the 61-point guided meditation. I want you to be warm and comfortable. So you may want to put a blanket over you. You may want to put a washcloth over your eyes. I'm going to stop my video and start the Yoga Nidra practice. First, become aware of your breath, breathing in and out. Observing your abdomen as it arises and falls. Now bring your awareness to the center of your eyebrows, center of your throat, right shoulder, elbow, wrist, right thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, right wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, left shoulder, elbow, wrist, left hand thumb, second finger, third finger, fourth finger, fifth finger, left wrist, elbow, shoulder, center of your throat, spiritual heart center, right side of your chest, heart center, left side of your chest, heart center, navel center, center of your pelvis, right hip, right knee, right ankle, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, right ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, left hip, left knee, ankle, left big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, left ankle, knee, hip, center of your pelvis, navel center, heart center, center of your throat, center of your eyebrows. This completes your yoga nidra meditation. Go ahead and start to notice your breath. Return to your attention to your breath. And start to wiggle and stretch like a cat. You're going to move your arms over your head. Stretch one side of the body, then the other. Bring your right knee to your chest and then your left. And both knees to your chest and rock from side to side. Nice lower back stretch. And roll towards me. Stay on the floor with your bent elbow for a pillow, bottom bent elbow for a pillow. Take a breath or two. Use your top hand to press into the floor and bring yourself up to seated. I am going to unmute you all. We'll unmute you. Whoops. Unmute you all. And cancel the spotlight. And I'm going to, there, all of you are available. So let's go ahead and close the class. Prayer pose. Sit tall. And then just nod or bobble your occipital ridge or the base of the skull over the top of the cervical spine. Bowing to and honoring each other by saying to each other, namaste.
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 Thank you.
Everybody, nice class.
Bye, Mom.
Very nice.